This is our how-to session, during which you can ask any questions around topics or uh, things that you experience using Nowsite that you want to discuss. We just ask that we respectively raise our hand and take turns at asking these questions. You can also ask the question in the chat. I have my wingman, Robert, that will be answering questions as well. Good for everybody? Perfect. I'm going to put the usual links, the resources that we have to offer in the chat. So that way, if you don't have it, you can take it, use the links. I updated the platform with the recent videos and how-to session that we had. And I also added a few conversation point on prospect and prospecting. I think it's important now that we're going into this conversation with the nav space and all these new tools that are popping up or will be popping up on our radar, like the lead nav. Did we all get a chance to take part into the session last week? And did we all like what we saw? How are we preparing for it? If you have a question, now is the time. You can raise your hand. I'll bring you into the scene, and we'll really ask question and exchange. Hey, Tony, it's been a while. I see you. Perfect. Hello,
Hey,
team, as
Virgil,
well.
you're a rock star.
Oh, only because you guys make me shine. That's it. Without you, no light, no star. I am useful when I'm with you, right? So how are we coming across this conversation of prospect and sizing up who we want to, for example, screen capture from our social media and bring them into the nav for the purpose of talking to them? How are we getting accustomed to that? I'm sure we have questions around that often enough. Um, During my meeting, my sessions, everything revolves around who we're trying to market our offer to, our conversation.
Can I
Questions?
speak to that?
Yeah, absolutely.
I can tell you, I've been with Justin and Nowsite since 2017, and I can tell you it is more exciting now to engage in conversation than ever. And what I find out, and I mean this respectfully,
Hmm.
there's so much ignorance. There's so many people who have no clue what AI is or no clue of how to move the needle in their business. And the more you talk to people, the more confusing they get. So what has been working for me is to use the tool in front of them, do an actual demo, and let them see you make a mistake or hit a wrong button. So it makes it more plausible and easier for them to like, oh wow, they don't, they're still learning too. Yes. So if you can do your demos in front of people and don't be afraid, don't feel like you have to know everything, and get them to these type of meetings with Virgil and all of our meetings. Some of the old heads around here, like the Blakester, let some people see how even my 8-year-old grandson can figure it out, and it makes it so less intimidating, if that helps.
Absolutely. I think you came in so strong. I love it because you're just echoing a lot of what we've been discussing here. This whole process is a journey. We don't come in perfect. We grow every time we use the tool. And this is also something that we have to be able to pass on to any people we bring into the in this space. And this is the same thing for any opportunity that you're offering to onboard somebody on. You have to show them the process. You have to be willing to make the mistake because it's part of the learning process, right? And again, let's take all the fear out of what AI is. Because just like Tony said, even an 8-year old can do it. In fact, most of the tools that we're seeing out there in the world are made for the young generation, right? And if it's made for their mind frame, it means that we can also push the same buttons. We just have to take the fear out of it. Go ahead, Shannon. Oh, you're muted, so we can hear you. Mhm.
There we go. Okay.
Perfect.
So I am
Mm,
completely new to this,
okay.
and so I'm in the process of just getting started. One challenge I'm finding, and I don't know if you can answer this question for me, but how do I tell Nowsite I'm not a girl by my name?
uh,
Having the name Shannon, it's assuming and it's writing my bio as that I'm a woman.
as a woman. Well, actually, one of the things, because um, let me show you and I'll demonstrate. Um, share my screen
I
here.
asked Eric AI, and he said change your settings or ask support.
Well, the first thing that I would have you look into is how you actually formatted or optimized the AI. When you're in your account after you set it up, right? You can see that you can come back in this field. Now, I leave this blank because this is a mistake. This is usually what most people will have after they have updated the AI with the information. Maybe here they haven't given enough information about them. Now, even if your name can create confusion for the I would really want to go back and see what type of interest you have put here, what type of information, because beyond the name, for example, talking about you here, telling it that you are a father or a bachelor would set basically the gender in place, right?
I did put single father of three, and it's still writing. It still wrote my bio as a woman.
Okay. Then in that case, what I would do is most likely have you come back. We'll reset the tool. We'll reset the AI so that you can go over to the onboarding and see if that makes a difference. Because, I mean, with all the other fields here and the answer, I don't think there should be a discrepancy with your gender. Um,
Yeah.
also one thing that is the My AI. So this part of the tool will format basically this AI version of yourself. But when you're going to be writing your bio, technically you're going to be presenting yourself as a business, right, or professional, and that would have you start here in the business profile. And I think here also through the conversation, it will be clearly outlined that we're talking to you as a man, right? So definitely put forward, did you create a business profile for your own persona to use through this description?
I have not yet.
Okay, so this is a very important part of the tool. Whenever you want to start across the platform, make sure to come in here and anchor your business conversation so that you can take advantage of the rest of the tool. Good?
Yeah,
For the rest, you know how to book a meeting?
no, not yet.
Okay, from your account, you can go bottom right here in the chat conversation, and you can ask them to send you a booking link for a nerd session so you and I can go over the calibration of your account. Okay? And
Awesome.
make sure also to give you all the onboarding that you would need to really get out of the learning curve when using the
Awesome.
tool.
Thank you.
Perfect. Oh, pleasure. Gene, go ahead.
I just wanted to go back to what Tony was talking about, what you said about people being scared of AI or owl. They see on TV and it looks like AL and they're scared of owl and owl's going to take over the world and 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 then you got people on social media who are using AI in the wrong ways and people think that that's going to be it. So the fires are going on in California and everybody's messed up by that, but people are making fake AI images
Mm.
off of that, trying to either get themselves more followers or whatever. But it is a workaround sometimes a difficult workaround to get people into buying into AI because of what they see on the news and things like that. So, any other ideas or tricks you could think of to help get people unscared of AI without doing it like Tony was saying in front of them and such?
Even better, get them to ask question to the AI, because the real conversation about using AI is just asking it the right question. Most people, well, first thing first, it's always important to understand what is the need that the person that you're showing AI to or talking about AI to is pursuing, right? Because we get overwhelmed by AI, by what we assume it is, and all the information that we're seeing out there. Like you said, fake news, right news, whatever the news is, we get overwhelmed by that. And some people have issues just turning on their computer or their telephone number. So when you're talking about AI, everything goes boom. When in fact, those same very people that have an issue turning up their phone are very able in front of a TV using the control and going through channels. What is difference between typing uh, uh, um, the button on the control, on the TV control, than the one on your phone? Not much, right? There's sometimes even your remote control, I find them pretty complicated because there's a set of instructions. If you haven't read the manual, you can't work that remote control. But the phones, these user interfaces that are built in for the process of using AI are pretty simple. So I recommend that first create a connection with what the client wants and the functionality of the AI that you're trying to introduce to them, right? Same goes, for example, in the case of presenting Nowsite. If I'm going to talk to you about AI and I come at you and say, well, we have this AI that does the social media, the marketing, the ultimate AI, the prospecting, the SaaS and app, I just love bombed you. I love the tool so much. I gave you everything I had. And that's too much, right? If I come at you first, I'm going to ask. And this is, for example, a big part of what we're doing when we're going on social media, looking at potentially who would be interested in our offer, right? By looking at their profile, we're going to size up what they're doing. If I don't see regular post activity for somebody that is in business on social media, there is a lag there. There is a need there. Let me show you how my AI or this social media tool can help you gain more momentum. And you don't have to write, you just have to push some buttons. Come in here and start pushing these buttons for yourself. See, oh, I made a mistake. It's okay. I usually say in marketing, the bad marketing is no marketing. Meaning if you're out there making mistake, that will create some kind of feedback that you can work with, as opposed as not making any type of marketing error, making any type of marketing post. You're dead in the water, right? I rather say something wrong and have somebody say, well, what did you mean by that? And me correct myself and say, sorry, I actually meant to say this. But while we're together, let me show you actually the right conversation in the demo. So a wrong connection can become an opportunity, right? So very important. If I go on your page, for example, and I see that there is activity, but there are no marketing links, then for me, maybe we should talk about marketing approach, website, sales funnel, and such. And if I see that you have all of the above, that you're posting, that you have content, that you have links, then I'm going to start asking you, well, how is your turnaround in terms of client conversion? And if it's high, let's make it higher. If it's low, let's bring it up. No business person is ever going to tell you, I don't need more business. Or glory, glory the day, or we can say that, right? Oh man, I don't need too much. That's too much money. No, impossible, right? So let's know who we're talking to, because when you are talking about knowing who you're talking to, you're actually knowing your product and understanding who this product would speak to. Simple as that, right? And every time like I said, I will start my meeting, I will refer to my meeting during, I'll talk about it because this is the simplest place to begin. You want to do business? Just tell me about your business. Better yet, tell AI in a few words what you want and let it impress you. Let you get curious because there's so much information that you're getting out of these business profile. By the way, Shannon, you see here, I live by what I practice. I have my social, my own business profile where I came here and describe who I am, who I'm looking at offering service to, right? And from this simple conversation, we get a lot, and we always want to understand this. Question? Add-on remarks? Shannon, for example, you're new here. Can you tell us a little bit about your business interests? We'll see how we can use that as a case example. And I can go over a walkthrough onboarding for those who are new here. And during that process, those who have been here with us will also able to share in tips, good practice, what they are doing in the space, for example.
Yeah, just getting started as an affiliate travel advisor.
So travel advisor affiliate. So for example, you in your account, when you're done your onboarding process, you're going to come down to the business profile here and the brand we want to start with that always. One thing in like everybody else in our marketing affiliation industry, we have two line of conversation from the start because you're marketing travel for people who want to travel and you're marketing the opportunity to be able to build your own travel business from home,
Correct.
right? And these two conversations are meant for different audience, different interests, right? And this is something that you want to keep in mind. On the business side of it, for example, if we are marketing travel and trying to have people join us, then let's think about these people, for example. And um, this exercise that I'm doing right now is something that we can all do, right? It's simple questions and answer about my business that technically I have asked myself coming into. And if I haven't, then I have now the opportunity to ask it to my AI and get these answers from it. Okay, so this is important. So here, for example, marketing travel with Shannon. Marketing travel is very precise, but so vague in the world of marketing travel because in that industry, there's a lot of people that are doing it, right? So when you're going to come out and when you want to make your space in this industry, when you speak about marketing travel, we need to anchor it in a way that if I saw this conversation during the day and didn't act on it, later on when my mind is rested and I'm thinking about, yeah, I should have went into this travel offer that I saw. Let me see who offered it to me. If I go back on social media and type marketing travel, that doesn't bring me back to you, Shannon, or anybody else in this space that would be promoting their wellness product, their marketing to AI products, their offer. So the brand has to do with anchoring that conversation back to you. Go ahead, Tony. Question?
I had a comment that might help
Mm-hmm.
the group is oftentimes platforms like this, we attempt to explain it. And what I tell people, you're not going to learn AI. AI is going to learn from you. So it takes so much pressure off because when they first sign up, you can back it up by that kind of proof. It's learning to think, act, and behave like you, and they can relax a little bit. And it's easier to interact. When they interact with it, the more they interact with it, the less pressure there is. So I've got to learn this, I've got to learn that. No, just play with it and let it learn you.
Absolutely. That is actually golden in the idea of using AI. Most people will be afraid of using it, won't using it. Just like riding a bike and saying, well, I'm going to fall, so I'm not going to get on that bike, point blank. But actually, when you get on the bike, you're like, oh, wait, it's easy. Take off these training wheels. Let me go fast. Woo, look at me. And you never forget how to do it because it's that simple, right? AI is the same thing. You are coming to this space. It's going to learn to respond from you. You're also going to learn to understand, to act on its response or probe it for more. And actually, this is made so much easier in the now side space because at the beginning, it's going to ask you, who are you? Let's be friends. Let me get to know you, right? So this is important. This helps the AI understand where you are going with your train of thoughts, right? Here is what are we going to be selling? Because remember, if, for example, we spoke, if for those who were at the meeting, if you understood the vision of Justin, right? We're not just going to be creating a tool that works when we tell it to work. It's going to be an assistant. It's going to know where we're going, right? It's going to be that experienced expert collaborator that is going to be by our side, right? And for us to get the best out of collaborator, you need to exchange. He needs to know you. You need to know it, right? So there's a pattern that is created as you work with a tool that the AI will learn from you. And you also will want to give information in the truest about you so that the AI understands, okay, this is who I'm mirroring, right? Same goes for this conversation. The added step that we're asking you to do is to be mindful of how you build the conversation. You can go at it very simply, which is how we all start. But as we discussed, since perfection is a road that we're traveling, often enough we want to come back here and exercise our expertise to our simple conversation. Remember that the difference between an expert conversation and a startup conversation is the way the information is laid out, right? Point after point, the expert will know what keywords he's talking about. At the beginning, the starter up is rounding up his conversation. So when you start out here simple, you're experiencing the tool. But as you practice with the tool, you then understand that we're asking you for simple information. What exactly are you offering? Right? In this case, we are not looking at the consumers, we're looking at people who want to start an opportunity. And you see, in simple words, I'd said that we offer a travel opportunity for those interested in starting a home venture. Now, of course, there's a lot more that can be said. And this is where you want to come in as well, Shannon, because this is still very general, right? For those, who are those people? Am I talking, for example, to a young bachelor? Am I talking to a young father? Am I talking to a retired senior? Who am I talking to? Am I talking to a homemaker? Because our product or our offer are generally good for everybody.
Right.
And this is marketing. I market something very generally to everybody. So, for example, if I was stopping at marketing and I will say, this is offered online. And a lot of us will stop at that, right? What I'm asking here is for you to consider what would happen if I gave a little bit more detail on how I market this travel. Maybe giving it information about the specific destination that I'm targeting. Because coming in here, I heard from my upline that, Florida is really the place to go this year. Okay, well, we market a travel opportunity for those in Florida. It's a little bit more detail, a little bit more food for thought for the AI to give you more oomph in what will come, right? What would happen if the offered online spoke about you will receive expert coaching from Shannon that has travel experience for 4 years and marketing experience or even more, right? Now I've put you at the center of the how, which we should be part of our conversation. This is one thing that, for example, we don't do. One of the how around all the offers that we have starts with us, right? So how do you start it? Well, you meet me. I offer an onboarding process to get you to reach these goals. All right. And depending on who we're talking to, then we prepare for the levels of conversation. A beginner conversation will require a beginner approach. experienced conversation or experienced ear will require an experienced conversation. As simple as the point of conversation, right? For example, at the beginning, I have to teach you everything. If you are an experience in the conversation, often enough, for example, we shy away from other marketers, meaning that I'm marketing my opportunity travel and I see this person who's marketing wellness, and I'm going to be like, during wellness, I'm in travel. We don't mix. But the truth is, we're both in marketing. You have an opportunity, I have an opportunity. We have common interests. Let's talk about it and share opportunities, right? Because, for example, if my ticket on the dollar gives you 30% return and your ticket on your dollar gives you 15%, as an experienced marketer, you know where the deal is good. Why don't we talk about our compensation plan? Right? When we're talking to other network marketing affiliates, for example, we're not going to reinvent the wheel. They already understand the business, the industry. Most likely they have their network. So the conversation with them starts with the compensation plan. Let me show you our up-to-date compensation plan that makes you count your return and receive your return a lot quicker. Any marketer understands compensation plan. They will look, let me see your compensation plan. I do wellness. This is what I get. What are you doing exactly? Then I get into your compensation plan. Make sense? If I'm talking to an elite, the need is greater. Now, coming back to what you're doing here, Shannon, and what we're wanting to keep in mind is that whatever we give here expands into more, right? And as far as NAV is concerned, our more is really here. Who are we talking to? Okay. You will notice one thing. As more targeted you get, the age gap here will tend to close when you're talking about professional, interested audience, and will widen when you're talking about general consumer interest. Okay. And be mindful of this detail because this is a big part of who we're going to be talking to. For example, if I'm on social media and this told me, well, I'm looking at 30 to 55 profiles that I should be lead naving. Well, if I start looking at 25 and 18 and thinking that these are potential prospect, I'm not necessarily aligning myself with this. This is a problem. Simply as that. Right? So you see small things here, and this is where we want to start like Robert last time put forward. When we're using the tool, we now have to really pay attention to what is happening on screen. We don't have to think. AI is doing the thinking. We just need to read. And that is impressive, right? Because if you think about it, initiate connections start with sending personal message to lead, expressing interest in learning about their goals and aspiration for starting a home venture. The discovery part, right? And that is true for any opportunity in this space or out of this space. If I'm going to sell something to somebody, or rather, let's use the right word. If we're going to offer, because we're making offers and people are deciding to buy or not, right? If I'm going to make an offer to you, I should know that you are interested in that, right? And that could be just a way I target my interest in my conversation. I want to speak to those who are interested in this. And if I know that they're interested in this, I know why the makeup of their personality calls for that, right? This tool is important because, again, it follows you across the marketing, but also it follows you across the prospecting. At the beginning, one of the things that we all come into this space are marketing links. Whatever opportunity you already have a marketing link. And these marketing links can be used right off the back in tandem with your business profile. You can use them on social media, which you will be doing, and using Nav as well to offer these call to action. The how, and this is so important, this term now for everybody in this space, call to action. Because if I'm going to go look at prospect, then I need to have something specific for them to do to continue into the interest that I'm soliciting them for. These are the how, right? In your business description, when you refer to your the first process starts with me meeting me, then it means that I have a Calendly link, that I have a Zoom link, that I have an email, that I have a telephone number. Often enough, we forget all these assets, these innate asset that we have coming into this space. Everybody here has a Zoom. They have a Zoom link. They should have a Calendly. It's free, right? They have an email. These are tools to conduct business with. How do I use it? At what point the customer will send me an email? You need questions? We have a 24-hour email line. You can send me your questions. Here's my email. If you have opted in, you even have a direct line to call me. Here's my business number, right? These are part of the conversation, or at least including them in this makes you aware of your own tools. Often enough, I have these conversation around websites and adding call to action, and it's like I'm reinventing the world. Like, wait a minute, you wanted to meet these people, you had a meeting link, so this is not impressive. You already were there, right? You just had to consider, okay, this is part of my process. These how are part of my process in my description. This is what I do. This is who I'm doing it for. And then I have to take care of the how. How exactly do I get this person to meet with me? I should account for that. Right? So very important. I actually have a Google document where constantly I'm looking at my links. This is a conversion links because if I'm sending this to this person, they're paying. So I'm going to have a set field where I put all my conversion links. This is a discover link, meaning I'm trying to get them to book me. So I have links there. These are my links for my funnels, meaning my social media, wherever I can put my marketing links. This is where my funnel starts. This is the open gate where people will come freely and say, hey, I saw this. Let me see this. Or you sent me this and then I discovered this about you. So I came through this gate. Okay, very important. Uh, Again, this follows you into the prospecting tool. As you can see here, I'll come to the navigation, prospecting, and open AI. Here, again, you can bring your conversation forward. And based on that, it's going to give you things that you want to keep in mind. These are things also that tie into this new customer acquisition system that the AI is suggesting, because when it's asking you to send them meaningful information, where do I come to understand that what is meaningful to this person? Well, here. And by the way, this is a very powerful thing here. This is a prospect analysis. It's complete with psychographic, geographic things to keep in mind, right? So often enough, you want to take a look at that. Go ahead, Vicky.
Hi, I'm sorry. When you
No, no.
said a Zoom link, do you mean to have a Zoom link that is reoccurring for the whole year that you can just give to somebody?
Well, well, technically a Zoom link is, for example, if we wanted to meet, I would send you my Zoom link. You would click it. That would open up your Zoom. So you have a Zoom account. You have a personal room, right? So,
Okay,
for
okay,
example, one practical use of your Zoom and your time, right? You start out the day promoting. While you're promoting, you can actually state that your Zoom link is open, your office is open, and anybody that wants to discuss about this interest can walk in.
okay. But what I'm saying is that when they say they're interested, that's when you would create your Zoom link. I have a Zoom account, but
Mhm.
when you said it, it just dawned on me. I said, I wonder if I should do one that is a reoccurring one so that if someone says something that I want to talk to you, I don't have
Yes.
to do it every single time. Just have a recurring one, set that up. That's a good idea. Thank you.
Absolutely, you should. And even take it deeper. If you have a recurrent link that people can come in at any time to meet you, then you also have recurrent days of the week where you're in front of your computer,
You need
where you
help?
can actually
Jack?
open. Sorry? I think it's Brian. I'm going to unmute him. So yes, so that conversation, that idea of having a recurrent link, you should actually echo it in any other thing that you do, any activity that can be recurrent. For example, weekly webinars. It means that you can open your Zoom, offer this link, and talk to anybody that walks in. Just like people do live on social media, they do a live, and anybody that wants to talk walks in. Live Zoom session. Let's talk about wellness. Let's talk about marketing. Let's talk about personal development. Let's talk about what you're interested in. And through that conversation, let me introduce some solutions, some opportunities, some things to consider. Making offers, not selling. Right? So that is the whole point of those. So very important. And you see, just that thought would have you now redefine your conversation here. Or at least have that in mind. And now that, or every time I'm going to be talking about it, I need to have that call to action. Right? Simply put, for example, here, and we'll go on, we'll back up a little bit in the marketing, uh, building websites here. I'm going to show you also links to tutorials, or you will see the tutorials in the how-to session, Shannon, about how to go over that, so you can start grinding your teeth on that while we book meeting, and we can keep that momentum going. So you'll see that, and this is also proof for everybody that the only thing that I'm doing here is using a mouse and minimum typing. And everybody can use a keyboard, everybody can use a mouse. It means that everybody has the expert's aptitude to work in this space. Okay, the rest is just removing the fear of technology and understanding that, well, if push comes to shove, I did a mistake, or reset and start anew. But I've learned from that mistake as well. Right? The only bad marketing is no marketing. So here you see, I am doing this while I'm talking, and the fact is that everything that I need to monitor is happening on screen. Right now, I'm creating an asset. I wanted to bring forward that conversation about the how and how it echoes onto the website while we're discussing this, and then we'll wrap up all this by going back to the prospect, because now I'm building a conversation that is intended for somebody specific. And you can see here the information required is pretty simple. I want a name for this asset so I can remember to use this one when this topic comes up. I have a URL that is pretty simple. And one of the things, you can create an unlimited amount of URLs here because it's also value to what you're doing. If we put things in perspective, we rarely these days ask for somebody to send us a .com, meaning, well, sorry, to give us their .com so we can write it and then go search it. No, send me the link. Right? We're asking for links. Send me the QR code so I can scan it. So sometimes people will get focused on the fact that, okay, well, I want a .com. Good. Practice first converting with your marketing link, and then we can add the decorum, the cherry on top of the cake, the .coms, right? To go into the next level of marketing if we want to. But at first, we want to be functional. These assets are meant to convert. All of those, whether it's a website, a sales funnel, a landing page, have all the same objective. They either want the person reading this, the who we're speaking to about our what, to act on our how, meaning book a meeting, meaning buy in, right? Commit to that interest. Or if they're not ready and they need more information, leave us at least your email so that we can close the gap and convert the interest. Right? So they all do the same thing. It's just a matter of how we're approaching the conversation here. The website, of course, is a big space. We can put a lot of information. We can have one long landing page or a few tabs, right? About services, contact us, all gearing at the same goals. The sales funnel is a two-step process, right? Capture page. You want to start. I want to help. I offer a free meeting. To get it, give me your email, and then I'll explain to you the process. This is the capture offer, the moral exchange. And we have so much to offer, right? Time. When I started, I was gunning for people to have a conversation with me so we can discuss on how we can do marketing, learn from each other. Look at me now. Today I'm talking with you, right? Time is so important. People would not give me time, right? So if you're out there looking for health advice, if you're out there looking for marketing assistance, if you're out there looking to fulfill a need, most of the time, if you're talking to an expert, you have to buy their time. Comes along an expert that willing you offer a discovery meeting if you're willing to just give them an email. Who's winning? Technically, both of us, but in your mind, you are first. Right? And this is what the sales funnel does. The landing page is a smaller space. I'm focusing on one offer. And in this case, the sales funnel doubles up with a landing page, which is a smaller space where I focus on the process, honoring the offer that I brought you in, or focusing on a specific aspect of my service that I want to market at that time. Right? So they all do the same thing. They come down to the how, the call to actions. Okay, here I'm going to go briefly over what you're getting from us here, because often people will knock this design. It's too simple, it's too this, but understand what it's doing and where your hand comes in. At the beginning, what it's going to do, like any business front, is give you a banner, traveling, marketing travel with Shannon. Note, you see, even this was a long title because it's taking a lot of space on the banner, right? So you would want to understand, how can I reshape this conversation to make it even more appealing, still keeping it in the travel business, right? So we keep that in mind. So it gives you a banner front. People fall on this technically in the interest laid down in the title. They should know that they're home. I'm interested in marketing travel. It's in the title. Let me go deeper in this hole. Then, of course, like any good business, we're going to welcome you by telling us who we are, introducing us. This is a short brief. This is an opportunity for a how. Well, about marketing travel, this is it's just the beginning, the kiss, right? It's just enough to want me more. How do I learn more? I should have an about button. What do you have to offer? Do you have documents that you prepared? Well, learn more. Get this PDF about our marketing approach, about our travel offers, right? So for example, if you have PDF document for your travel offers, here we go. Take a look at the travel opportunities that we offer. Learn more. This is a opportunity for you to give. But when we give in marketing, for example, I give you a PDF document. I expect that that PDF document has an information, a route back to me. After you read this document, you're going to have question. Book a meeting. Here's the booking link. Here's my number. Here's my email. Right? So there's a room here. After this, after telling you, presenting myself to you, I'm going to show you that there's a lot of people that are dealing with me. I have good friends. They all like me. So should you, right? And now this is why we have these testimonials here. We are reinforcing what we have offered or we have stated. And by this time, now, when I see testimonial and I don't see a button that says join us, follow us, see more, I'm saying, what are they doing with their social media? Because technically at the beginning of the day, I should be posting on social media, and this is most likely where these comment came from. And this would be an opportunity to tell the client, follow me. This is another how I can get in that close combat zone with that conversation, with that. This is how, for example, Vicky, when you're posting and you're saying, I'm available, and to people that are following you on your product page, oh, Vicky's available. I got a little bit of time. Let me hop in this Zoom room and talk to her. Let's see what this is about. All right. At this point, since with this basic construct, we didn't give you any call to action, we're going to enact the first thing we can do. At this point, if so far you have read all this and picked up of this interest, the least you should do is contact us or leave your information for more. If you don't and you still need more, well, let's go into the service. Let's go into a get started button. How do I get started? This is a question that you have to answer. This is a question you have the answer to, because when you started in this business, your entity told you, okay, this is the link that you send to people to convert. This is the link that you send them to get information. This is the process that we put forward. These are the links. These are the how this business is conducted. Let's not forget that when we come into this business, because the AI is just asking, well, what do I do? Give me all that information. We can't assume that it knows us because we touched the keyboard. And this is some of the expectation that we have, right? I'm going to come in here, I'm going to touch this keyboard, and it's going to know everything I know right away. And it's going to make all the mistakes I'm afraid of, so I should not touch it. You see the mind frame that we're building? No. I'm in here, type this keyboard, make mistakes, see what happens. Oh, this is not what I meant to say. Oh, actually, I didn't think I should have said that, but this is great stuff, AI. But if we don't try, we don't know. So you see, this is what it's doing for you. And this is to come back to what we were discussing, why the considering this part of the conversation is important, not just for the AI, but for you. It allows you to organize your conversation. If I'm coming into this game understanding my how, what happens when I'm naving, that's a new term, on somebody on social media and they're asking me, how can I meet you? Here's a link. How can I learn more? Here's a link. Go ahead, Shannon.
I'm sorry to interrupt.
No,
What
you're not.
I jumped on late. What's your name?
Virgil.
Virgil, nice to meet you.
Yeah,
I just want to let you know I'll probably be jumping off in a few minutes. I'm not trying to be rude, but I got an appointment coming up. So, but I appreciate that, and I look forward to talking with you again.
absolutely. Pleasure too. And you weren't interrupting. And this is the nature of the business. I'm happy you're busy. It means business is afoot. Come back and we'll talk about it and add it to the conversation. Okay?
Thank you, Virgil.
Pleasure, pleasure. So perfect. So everybody, this applies as well. Okay, very important. This comes back to the who. And if I know that I have these links, then already I know that it's going to be part of my conversation. It makes it easier to anticipate or to follow what Nav is doing. Right here, I'll show you quickly before you switch off how this all works into the conversation. Simply put, all this that I spoke to or about was to say, well, you know what? In the end, I want to talk to somebody that has an interest in marketing, right? In the targeting. So, what is happening here? Right? That is the interest, right? If you're interested in marketing and traveling, then I want these two interests: marketing, traveling. Usually I have my drop down menu, but it's not populating. I'm not sure why. And here, for example, anybody, for example, that wants to work from home, and I usually use this interest because it's right on top of everything. I have left my employment to become a homemaker. I work from home. Doesn't mean that I'm not don't have any skill. It doesn't mean that I don't have any interest. What it does mean is that I'm looking for opportunities to grow. I might be actually in the network marketing business already. All right. So let's understand the weight of these words, because now, again, from the beginning, I knew exactly where I was going to go with this conversation. Right. So this person loves cruise, right? They like collecting, moving, they like traveling, they like investing. They like home decoration, home improvement. Notice the keywords that I picked up on: home improvement, home decoration. For me, that's a sign of home ownership, because you can renovate or improve on a rental. But it also means that you like staying home and you would enjoy working from home. As simple as that. And if I pair that with the interest in traveling, then I have my conversation. I see that you love being home and traveling. Have you ever thought about starting a home business in something that you like? Hence traveling. Boy, I got the best world for you. How would you say no to, how would this person no to a conversation about traveling and doing an activity from home. They're all about these conversation points. And that wasn't hard for me to think about when I was considering my business. I want to sell travel marketing. Well, it has to be somebody that wants to do something from home. And it's as simple as that. That was the genius in this tool. That was all the genius required, right? When you guys call me a genius, I sometimes like, oh man, one day they're gonna see that I'm a fake. Why? Because I'm not doing anything. I'm just thinking about these small things each time I'm having a conversation. These small words that make me understand a little bit better who I'm speaking to and how to relate. Right? Remember that we are network marketers. Networking means going towards people, talking to them. And this part of the tool helps you with the talking to them. Going forward is you pushing these buttons. Going further is you paying interest to these profile when you're deciding to screen capture them. That part does not go out of the equation. Make sense? Perfect. So hammer these down. Um, I did a little discussion in the tool. Here's something that you could benefit from all in the case study. I did this prospect document going over the definition of prospect, the definition of prospect psychographic, a resume, a little bit of what we would want to keep in mind and why having these buyer persona are good, right? At the beginning, I would recommend having a buyer persona for each category of business that you're going into. That allows you to have a face on this uh, person that you're trying to talk to. Allows you to just prepare your words. If I know that I'm going to be talking to a family man, then I'll be very careful about the word I choose, making sure that whatever I'm offering him, his family benefits from directly, right? For example, insurance in this space is the easiest thing to prospect for. Because if I see that you have in your interest family and kids, what type of coverage are you giving them? You see how the question rolls out simply? If you're interested in your family and your kids, then you're most likely interested in the type of coverage that you are providing them. I have a solution, take a look at it. Home decoration, home improvement. If you like your home so much that you made it part of your interest on social media, let's see what kind of insurance you have on it. Wellness. I'm selling back pain. Oh boy, working construction every day must be a work on your back. Let's talk about these products. You see, we want to match the client's interest and need, and sometimes that is defined by what they do on a daily basis. As simple as that. I sit all day, I have to get up because the back hurts. Well, you're a secretary. Ooh, these long hours sitting down, crunching numbers, or answering the phone must be working your back. We have this natural remedy for it. We also have a relaxing tea for your stress during work hours. You see how I'm just thinking about the person. What would this person be going through their day? Would allow me to match my business conversation to them. And every time, this is how you get it, the how. Okay, very simple. Keep that in mind. So we have the prospecting tool here. I did a little training video, an overview about this the conversation, and there's a highlight, a little tool, a little exercise or tips that we did last time that I'll repeat here, thus showing you again the importance of this, tying it all together. Here, when we have those, if I want to know, for example, this individual that we're talking about, who would he really be? Well, I do this every time and I like the results. I'm going to put this conversation here. I'm going to come back and the prompt is always the same. Give me a client avatar profile based on this customer target description, right? All these words make sense. And this is why I get this client avatar. Go ahead, Tina.
Well, I'm going to wait till you're done with this so it flows better. I just have a question at the end, so I'll leave. We'll come back here.
Oh, we're done. The AI is writing. We can talk about it, and then we'll come back.
Okay. This is kind of a silly question, but when I don't know where to find when I go to get a prospect, I thought I could also put my criteria for my targeted lead when I'm flipping from um, looking for entrepreneurs for Nowsite, or I'm looking for people for my um,
Yes.
travel industry as well. I just don't see where I'm able to change that criteria each time I want to do that.
Good question. Okay, so here you saw the profile I'm getting, Sabrina, age and such, and reading this persona can allow me maybe to see if the person that I had in mind was the right one, right? Keep that in mind. To answer your question, and I'll go to Eugene here, when you're prospecting, notice we have search history, right? And we also have save criteria. So for example, I'm going to toggle between space here. So here, if I save this, I'll say, for example, uh, I'll say prospect search, travel prospect search here, travel prospect search. If you're going to be updating this often around the same type of industry, what I recommend is deciding on a tracking system. Me, for example, I'll put dates. So 2025 01/14 and save this criteria. So that way, when I'm about to switch between prospect criteria, I open my search history and you see I have saved preference. All right. So here for, oh, wow, this lecture is something else. But here, so I have this recent save. This one, for example, if I wanted to, here you see I'm prospecting across Africa. So I'm going to click on load it up, and it's going to populate with the set criteria that I had. So whenever you're switching, technically, if you're deciding, I'm going to go, I'm going to start here, for example. So if I'm going to be prospecting, say for my Virgil Obio or marketing expert, then I know that I'm doing so here. I'm also going to be loading up the targeted criteria pertaining to that search, and then I start probing and such. It also organizes the prospect in the required list and align them with the email marketing strategy that we're putting on the back burner as well. This is why we focus a lot on direct messaging on social media, because when they're coming in, they're coming into the list. And while we created that list, we already had also a marketing drip campaign lined up for people who end up in that list. Good.
Thank you
Go
so
ahead.
much. That's
You're
excellent.
welcome.
Appreciate it.
Go ahead, Gene. After that, we'll be at the end of the meeting for now. But go ahead.
Oh, yes. Can you go back to that contact you saw with the home decoration and home improvement?
Absolutely. Just go back to contact here. It would be the last one here, I believe. And info here. Yeah.
Okay, hold on a second, because I wasn't seeing that on mine.
The info,
Oh,
the
okay.
information here.
This is, oh, hold on a second. This is one that I couldn't, that the enhancement didn't actually, yeah, okay. The enhancement didn't have anything for her hardly except for education. That was weird. Okay, let me check one of my other ones real quick.
Oh, you're looking at your screen because right now you have me off. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, here it is. Okay.
Virgil,
I wasn't seeing as much stuff in there, and I didn't realize that I was on the wrong person. I thought I was missing a tab. Okay.
Okay. Yeah.
Cool.
No, these are the tab. I recommend at the beginning, pay attention to what is happening in the enhance info and in the personality as well. Right? Because here, for example, we are itching to get to this point, giving the pitch, right? Because this is when the business happened. So we want to come here and understand, okay, well, what is happening here? Because the AI is going to be using it. That's good, right? By default, if we let ourselves be led, it will take us to port. But if we want to pick up speed, if we can call the shots, even better. AI, I know what you're going to be doing. I know the client patterns. Let me go to this step already. This is when we are really acquiring our expertise, right? And we want to understand that AI makes us an expert by default. Great. But imagine if we took the time while the default is occurring, we powered ourselves up and came back to the game tenfold, right? And this is when we're ready to duplicate ourselves, start passing on that knowledge, because using the tool is one thing, understanding it to be able to pass it on to somebody else is another, right? So we can use the tool, profit from it, great. But if we want to expand on our operation, we have to become tool savvy, and not even tech savvy, it's tool savvy, just understanding the mechanic of the process. That's all. You don't have to be the mechanic. You just need to know, okay, if the mechanic was to fix this, this is what he would do. This is how I'm going to explain it. That's it.
Exactly.
Be a good driver.
And one last thing, if you can answer the last question in the chat for everybody who doesn't know this.
How can I get a copy of this training? I'll give you the link where you will have all of that. Oh, is it the right one? Yep. Perfect. Here, paste. So all the links. So the first one is our how-to letter. This is where I host all these um, training videos. We have the team section. This is where I will add all the team content, anything that I build following these conversations, the tutorials, the documents there. And the third one is directly the YouTube video link where I host the videos last. Okay, so you can have all of that as well. I activated the comments on the video YouTube. So if ever you see something or you want to add, you can put it there. I had on the how-to session, the Q. This is basically the first link that I'm sending you there. You'll be able to see. I update the Q sessions when I see something that different. Lately, everybody has been great with their questions, and Robert has been handling perfectly. So I haven't seen anything that I need to come back on. But the last tab, we have this form. If ever you have questions that are not answered, you can come to this form. It's a Google form. I count I go over the conversation, the questions, and I calibrate my sessions to come based on that. Okay. So use that as well. When I do things that are relevant, I will leave them on the side. So for example, I leave the case study on the code snippet, since again, making sure that we can convert is one of the key things that we often want to know. And with that, if you have a PayPal account, you can basically convert, create a website, and actually start having a monetized platform, right? So this is usually one thing that we want to know. We're putting this to rest. Now the process to get somebody to click on that purchase button is what we're discussing. Speak to their need, make the right offer, understand what it is you're offering, the facet of it that speak to the audience that you're in front of, right? You can't sell a family package travel to a bachelor. It was a great travel package, but I'm all alone. What do I do with the rest of the space? Right. And you can't sell a bachelor's excursion to a family man. He goes, yeah, but I got luggage. I mean, a lot of luggage. Right. So how do I include them? So let's see who we're talking to us. And that only makes us more confident in the offer. I'm offering everything you need. What are your questions? And that makes us prepare for the answers as well. Remember, when you're ready for your presentation, it means that you understand the questions that are coming and you already have prepared the answers. So you make the presentation, he's going to ask this, I got this answer. He's going to ask that, I got this answer. And if he doesn't have, well, great question. You know what? Let's book another meeting and I'll come back with more content and you'll prepare for the next step as well. Building expectation, right? Perfect. And remember, if somebody asks you an expert question, it means that they have their hand deep in the jar. Often enough, we're forgetting that questions are a great thing. If you're sometimes I'm like, well, nobody's asking questions. There's a problem. Maybe they don't understand what I'm saying, right? So receiving question allows you to say, okay, I'm going in the right direction with this client, and they are interested in the conversation. Okay, so let's face these questions. Let's be happy to have these conversations. And remember, we're not even alone now. The client just said this, Nav. What should I say? Okay, say this, say that. Okay, perfect. As simple as that. Okay? Perfect. So we're at the end. So I'll put the conversation forward on the platform. And sorry, you're trying to open and it just says blank. Though I was having a little bit of loading time error, but let me just go back to it here. It's the right link here. I'm just going to put it again. It open? Okay, perfect. I think it might be a little bit of lag. Give it some time and then it should open. It could be that since we're doing a lot right now and the bandwidth might be low on your side or mine, maybe. But again, feel free to book meetings, fill my calendar, come with questions. That means that we're using the tool. Often enough, when I like space on my calendar, don't get me wrong, I like to breathe. But when I get too much space, I get worried. Are they using the tool as it is and I'm happy, or they're not using the tool? Because if we're using the tool, we always have new questions. And if we don't, then we're up to the next level, building a team, and there's conversation in that space as well. Okay, perfect. See you tomorrow. Prepare questions for me. If we have some, we'll address them tomorrow. We'll think about a case study that we can conduct again.
Thanks a
Perfect.
lot.
Always a pleasure, guys. Love you guys.